doke. So let's get this working. We'll see if the... Wait, where am I? Why am I not visible? That's annoying. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. So we'll see if this actually... I guess we'll see if this gets blocked for copyright infringement, because this is kind of mainstreamy music in the background. But I'm gonna call yarn start as always, and then look Eid or look. Hey fuzzy buddy, how are you doing tonight? So Luke said that we should use HTTP, and that will make our lives easier with the whole thing. So let's see. Node.js HTTP client, and if it works, I'm going to start it afterwards. So let's see. Yarn remove request. Nope. CD backend. Now yarn remove request and yarn add HTTP. Wonderful. Now we've got to start using it here in our handler. Request is down here, so const. I'm gonna move it up so that it's okay. Actually, because this is almost like another part. Get post from HTTP, and we're actually only using posts, I think. So we're gonna go with post, and so I don't know if this actually works with promises. It should. Okay, it does use promises internally. Awesome. So I'm gonna use promises because yesterday we had trouble trying to use async await in in Node V8. So we're still gonna have a promise, except we can immediately return it. We can say return post to, where was it? HTTPS thread compiler token. How do we so then we define headers. How do we define headers? Post error handling. Where are headers? Opts headers. Okay, so that looks the same. So we have headers where we say content type is application/JSON. Okay, and then our body stays the same as it was here, right? Or do we specify it? Wonderful, we can specify it as JSON. So that's cool, like normal JSON. This is saying I have 0 viewers right now, which is a problem. I'm gonna try to verify if the stream is actually live. So YouTube live dashboard, just so I can verify that the stream is working. So we have that, and then opts, and that's our post request. That. Interesting. So there's nobody there right now, I guess. But hopefully people will show up later. So we have our client ID, client secret, audience, and grant type. That's our post. Then we get data and errors. So then is our response. We're going to just return response, or let's console log it and return it. So console log got auth token with our response, and we say return response, and in case there's an error, we can catch that all the way down there, because we're going to be chaining promises, so it should be fine. So we take this out, we don't need it anymore, that's our tweet, we're gonna use that later. So getting user token, aha, so we have, where's the code? So get auth token, then response, we are going to JSON stringify the response and call get user token with blah. And if there's an error, we're gonna console log huge error with error there. Okay, so get auth token, then response get user token. What does user token look like? Where's the get user token code? So that's our get user token, which again returns a, this one returns a get request to all of this stuff, with our headers being authorization is token type and access token. So token type access token, like that. That's our get method. What am I doing wrong? I don't actually know what I'm doing wrong. Oh, I guess all of this is wrong. There we go. So that's our headers. Then we get a response, and again we're going to console log user token response and add the response itself, return response, and that will let us see what's going on. Bam, bam, bam. Cool. And then we have the tweet stuff. This may be converted to an async function. Yes, I know this may be converted to an async function, but we are running Node 8 on AWS, so we can't use async await. Wow, that is loud. Cool. So that's that. So get user token, and then we can change the tweet function as well. And the tweet function is going to say post to HTTPS Twitter JSON, like that. And the options are going to say headers are authorization, which is options.auth, and where is the body? Oh, did I actually never specify that? Okay, so let's look at Twitter API docs. Twitter API docs, Twitter API, tweets, post, retrieve, and engage, statuses, update, API reference, statuses, update. So how does that work? The text of this, okay, so it's a status update JSON. Requires authentication, yes. Rate limited, 300 times per user. Status, okay, let's see an example. I like examples. So example, URL header, and where does our tweet go? That's the part I'm not getting. I guess we can put it in the body. Okay, so let's try body with status being our text. and then response is console log tweet response, which is our response, and we can delete this other code. Cool. Okay, so this should now work in theory. We get auth token, then we get user token. When we get the user token, we then don't actually tweet. We just return that. Then when we have the response, we do what? Console log response pre-tweet, which is just the response. And let's see, if I say serverless deploy, we should be able to see what's going on. Let's see if we can finally get this working. Okay, great. So that's our endpoint. We can now go to localhost 8000, and we can also open our AWS Lambda, or at least the CloudWatch console. So is it there? That one. So localhost 8000. We log in. That worked. That's great. So we're now logged in with Twitter. Go to our CloudWatch. Wonderful. Logs. CloudWatch logs, and we're gonna have the private endpoint up here, which was last called last night. So now if I click ping private API, aha, we got a 500 error. Wonderful. So believe it or not, the 500 error is actually progress since yesterday. But that one shows up here in the auth service. Yes, 2230, that's us. Unexpected token import. Well, I guess we can't use imports. So instead of import, we're gonna use something old. So I'm gonna say const get and post equals require HTTP, and that should work. Serverless deploy, we try again, and we wait. Okay, wonderful. 4 viewers. 4 is enough. Mike Pascon, how you get access to university libraries? I'm not sure what you mean by that. That looks like a spam bot. And I wonder if, yeah. Okay. So not sure why getting spammed on Periscope, but let's see. Ping private API. So that is still bugging out. Why is that bugging out? So type token, what? From custom authorizer. Wait, did that actually work? 502 error. What's a 502 error? So that looks like it worked. Did we get to the private endpoint? Yes, we called that one. That's great. Okay, so we got the auth token. What? That's disappointing. And then huge error converting circular structure to JSON. Hey Candy Cane, so a Lambda you can think of an AWS Lambda as a tiny server or a JavaScript function that runs on Amazon, and then when you make a URL call to it, like a fetch or just hit that endpoint, it wakes up your tiny function, executes it, and returns the result. And the idea is that you don't have to have servers, you can just run tiny little functions that work independently as if they were the whole thing. So now I'm trying to figure out what's going wrong here. Do we have any stringifies called? We do. Let's just call response. So what does HTTPy return? Rest status code. Response.data is what we care about. Response.status code and response.data. No. So here the response is going to be just data, but down here we're going to, so we return response.data, response.status code we log, and response.data we also log. Hey Luke, how's it going? I'm trying to use your HTTPy library. It's giving me a little trouble. Response.data and response.status code, and we return response.data. Console log. So get auth token has all of that. Then we have get user token, which again is going to say status code response.data, and it's going to return response.data. Great. Serverless deploy again, and I guess we'll see. Yeah, so I just, from the future, which Luke is gonna see soon, I want to use response.data, not just response itself. By the way, okie doke, so we got that. Now we click ping private API again. Ho-ho! Well. Damn, that's awesome. So I did get everything I need. Let's see, network, private. Why is the response stringified? That is so weird. So okay, so which part of this response am I trying to use to talk to Twitter is the question, is the next question. Identities, access token secret, provider, Twitter, wonderful. Okay. So now we can use an actual, no, I'm gonna try not to use a Twitter API. So let's see, what do I need to send to Twitter to be able to make this work? Overview, API reference, introduction to tweet JSON, API reference, status update, resource URL. So we need token. Where does it say token? Maybe I should use a Node Twitter client. So Node Twitter API. Node Twitter API, that's from 2016. Tweet. How to use Twitter API with Node. Let's look at the docs and see if they developer utilities. Libraries. So libraries for tweets. Twitter libraries for JavaScript, Twitter.js client. So this is the one that they officially recommend, which doesn't actually seem to be working very well. But you know what? Let's give it a shot, right? Okay, so yarn add Twitter node client. That's gonna make it. Oh, it was updated 4 years ago. Wonderful. I'm sure that's not a problem. I have a feeling that Twitter API is not as popular as it used to be. If the officially recommended Twitter client is version 006 and was last updated 4 years ago. Okay, I'm not using that. Yarn remove node Twitter client. Backend package JSON Twitter node client. Yarn remove Twitter node client. What else can we use? What about so none of these seem to be very well maintained, so I'm gonna try doing it myself, but I'm not sure how to do that. So I know that we get our access tokens and stuff in the, what's this called, when we get this private API, and we have response pre-tweet. So I'm going to do it like this. We're going to just immediately return get user token because now we know it works. And the private endpoint, we're gonna have to make it so we're gonna make that part something. Now I need to figure out where we can get our authentication. What does it look like? So location, screen name, URL updated at, user ID, nickname, identities. That's what we care about. So we need to get our identities. Const identity equals response.identities.find. Let's see, how does find work? JavaScript find, array prototype find. Oh, perfect. So we are finding the one where the identity, what's it called? So access token secret, provider, where the provider, let's do it like this, ID, where ad.provider equals Twitter, like that. So that's the identity we want, and we're going to return that identity here. This is, and I know Luke said that HTTP is automatically serializing stuff for us and so on, but this is not HTTP, this is just a callback to get it back to our front end. So now I need to figure out how to make a post request with this thing, access token. Where does the access token go? Basics, getting started, integrate, creating a Twitter app, next steps, post tweets. Okay, so I need to know authentication. There we go. OAuth with the Twitter API OAuth2 bearer token. To use this method, you need to use a bearer token. How do we get a bearer token? So if I now click ping private API, we get an error. Why do we get an error all of a sudden? So let's see. Why is this erroring out? Private endpoint, 10:43 p.m. Click. Identity is not defined. Identify is not defined. What? Oh god. So typos, not a great fit. Cool, got that. Now how do I get the bearer token from our thingy? Authorizing a request. So access tokens using bearer tokens. So access token, you need to generate an access token and token secret. If you'd like to do the following, generating access tokens. How do I use bearer tokens? That seems way better. So now when I click ping private API, see we have, this is my Twitter access token, my user ID, token secret, and the access token itself. Now I need to figure out how to use those so that I can talk to the Twitter API as an authenticated server thingy. No, what about authorizing a request? The purpose of this document is to show you how to modify HTTP requests for the purpose of sending authorized requests to the Twitter API. Okay, status. So for authorization, where does it say access token? Hey Simanish, Simanish. That's strange. I mean, strange. It's not strange. It's just not something I'm used to, I guess. I don't know where to send the access token. Let's see. Auth0 Twitter API. Maybe that's gonna have a better guide. Connect your app to Twitter. Enable the connection. Test your connection. Access Twitter API. Call an identity provider API. From the backend, get full user profile. We got that. So that's how we got the identity. And then you are now ready to call the IDPs API. Please refer to IDPs documentation for specifics on how to do so. Okay. Okay. How to call Twitter API with access token and token secret. Access tokens. Single user OAuth with examples. How to get API keys and tokens, blah. So access tokens, that's a page I was already on. Learn more, start with the OAuth basic, generate a back for application authentication, securing keys and access tokens. So start with OAuth basics. It's saying single user OAuth. OAuth Ruby Gem, no, I don't want any of that. Consumer key, consumer secret, access token secret, yes, but then how do I use those? So Simon Manish asks what's the difference between What's Twitterizer? What's the difference between what is this? C#. So what's the difference between Next.js and Gatsby? And I'm not actually sure because I haven't used Next.js. From what it sounds like, they seem very similar. Consumer secret, bearer tokens, obtain a bearer token. How do we get that? The request must be HTTP post, content type, grant type, client credentials. Okay, what if we try some sort of no Twitter API? So yeah, I'm not sure what the difference is between Next.js and what's it called? That seems promising. Node twirl, I think, is also something I've seen. What's twirl? Curl-like application. So yeah, basically I don't know what the difference is because I haven't used one of them, but they seem to do very similar things. Okay, I'm gonna use the node Twitter client. So yarn add node minus Twitter minus API. That seems promising. Okay, so then we go, where's the code? This one, because this is probably going to get extracted into a different file, so it makes sense to do it here. So we say Twitter API require node Twitter API, and then const Twitter equals new Twitter API with my consumer key, my consumer secret, and a callback, which is going to be foo right now because we don't actually have that. So no callback. And if I go to my dashboard, I should see where are my my apps, thread compiler details. I can get keys and tokens. So my consumer API key is this one, and my consumer secret, which again I shouldn't be showing all of you, but I'm gonna regenerate these before I actually, before I actually deploy anything. I'm gonna regenerate all the tokens so that you guys can't steal my access, and I'm also gonna take them out of Twitter and so on. I mean, out of GitHub, so they're not public. Okay. Getting a request token, getting an access token, verify credentials, methods. So here, when we go, we have our identity. So we return the identity like that. Then we say identity and we tweet. What did you say we're tweeting? I tweeted this from a serverless AWS Lambda, and I'm gonna add this emoji and our identity, and then we're going to get the response, and yeah. What's it complaining about now? So tup. I don't understand where the complaint is coming from. So if I go to, let's see, not always on top, always on top, click through mode, and if I click prettier, wow. So what Simon Manish is doing is all very impressive. I would have to see them. Click through mode. So what am I missing here? That's matching. Is that matching? It is. Ah, there we go. That was the problem. Okay, so now we have to go change the tweet function. Where is it? Tweet and identity. So we're going to do all of this, and we say twitter.statuses. We say update, and we post status of text, and we use identity dot, what did we say it was called? Access token. Yep, identity dot underscore access token. And what else do we need? Access token and access token secret. Identity access token secret. Bam. And we get a function that gets an error, a data, and a response, and does what? Oh, like that. So gets all that, and we're going to return a new promise that takes a function that resolves or rejects and does stuff like that. Okay. No, so close statuses, close that, close promise, close that function. Still not happy. Why isn't it happy? So I'm gonna take this away just so I can close, close, close. How can it not be happy with that? Ah, that's why. Okay. So I have that, then we put back the Twitter statuses, and our function here, we're going to say if error, then we reject this with an error. Otherwise, we resolve with the data, right? Access token, blah. So now I'm going to serverless deploy this again, and I think this time it's going to actually work, and I guess we'll see if it does. This is getting kind of complicated, I think, which is really kind of silly. I can remove this stuff. So we have get auth token, then response, then get user token, then return identity, then tweet, then we get the response, and we stringify it back, and I guess we'll see what happens. So I click ping private API, and we got an error. Wonderful. Go back to CloudWatch, private endpoint. 2257, that's us. Got off. Identity is not defined. Why is identity not defined? This is on line 180. 180. Oh, seriously? Did I? So wait, does that mean I tweeted? Twitter Swizzets? Yes, I did. It worked. Alright. So I'm gonna ping private API. Oh no, serverless deploy. I just want to make sure that we get a thing back. Okay. Cool, cool, come on, come on. And then the next part, we're going to record a little video about it, because, you know, gotta do that for the Twitters. So if I click ping private API, brr. So now the problem is that we have a lot of side effects, and I'm tweeting every time I click that button, which means I have to make I should really stop doing that. But let's see. Oh, now it's throwing errors because status is a duplicate. Okay. Cool. So serverless. Oh, maybe this is the problem. So look, I think I found the problem here. I need to change this to 810. And then I can use async await, I think. We can do that next time. But AWS Lambda latest node version. Yeah, node 810. So I was accidentally set to 610 on in my serverless YAML. So let's try that again. I'm gonna remove my tweet. Where is it? Twitter. And let's see. Profile. I'm going to delete my tweet. This one. And I'm gonna try that again. Here. So let's see now if I can record a video about this. Let's log me out so that I can get a fuller video. Cool. I need, let's get cap going. Like that. Now cap. Okay, let's do 1080. I guess like this. Where was I? So tip. And I click record, so we're gonna log in. That goes through our thing, and then we ping private API, and a wild tweet should appear. Aha. Okay, that is a terrible video, but it worked. Cool. Okay, so it's kind of hard to make a nice video of that, but I'm going to say I'm happy with that right now. And I'm gonna stop live coding for today. So thanks Luke for all your help. Yeah, thanks Luke for your help. That was extremely useful. We got it working, and I'm now able to send tweets from a Gatsby site without a server. And I think that's pretty cool. So we're gonna continue probably on Sunday, or maybe probably on Sunday we're gonna continue with this, clean up the code and make it so that you can actually use the markdown from here to make your tweets and turn them into Twitter threads. And I think that should be pretty cool. So thanks everyone who was watching. It wasn't a very popular stream today, but what are you gonna do? So I will see you guys next time.